the idea of like, intuition. We usually hear that context with like a woman's intuition, but at the same time, I feel like is there a thin line between using your reference points and your experience trauma and then versus just like, no, I can have reference points for certain things, but then also carrying that baggage into all the different situations, whatever. Like,
I 100% think that people confuse trauma with intuition. They think that because it's familiar and they recognize it, that they can jump to conclude that the outcome would be the same, and they say that it's intuition because they can draw from experience. But the thing is, experience clouds your judgment when it was a traumatic experience that you want to forget. So you don't want to relive that moment. So guess what happened? You do anything to prevent that. So when you see something that look relatively close to it being a familiar experience, you flee because you don't want it to be the same outcome, not even digging that. Familiar experiences present themselves so you can show up as a new version of yourself. The intuition part is pulling from your gut and trusting that, okay, what I'm feeling is triggering me to know that something is up, but that don't mean that I'm supposed to avoid it. It's like, when you're on a roller coaster, you about to, something about to happen, but you can't get off. You got to go all the way through with the ride, and people get off at the top of the mountain because they know there's a drop coming. But sometimes that drop be what you need to overcome to let the trauma, because in order for you to be able to get away from your trauma, you got to evaluate and then recreate your relationship with it. Like, you got to reestablish the relationship. You can't have the same memory of some shit that happened to you 12 years ago, 14 years ago. Remember it exactly as it is and it not affect you today. You have to go back 12 years ago, think about it, and figure out what you could have learned from it, what you could take from it. Not what you should have did differently, but what you will do differently moving forward, because you obviously can't go back and change the past. So instead of saying, all right, man, if I should have did this, I could have. It's like, no, now you reliving it in a traumatic sense and you kind of perpetuating the pain. You got to go back and look at it and be like, you know what? I can't change what I did then, but now that I see it again, I'm for sure not about to allow myself to. But that don't mean I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to go through it with the knowledge and the wisdom of knowing that this is my trauma trying to speak to me as is my intuition, but I'm not going to allow it to keep me stuck in this place. Where the intuition itself is just instinct. It's literally just like, I don't really got a good feeling about this. Like, it hasn't happened yet. Honestly, intuition ain't connected to your past. It's literally some shit that's just intuitive, like, something don't feel right. It's not right. Like, you're not pouring from experience. So I think that that's the part that, a woman's intuition is always right. No, it's not. 99% of them. Let's be realistic. 95% of the time it's wrong. But the studies of when it's wrong never get documented. They don't say, I went through your phone 97 times and didn't find shit. They wait till the 98th time when they found something. They're like, I knew it. I got him. 100% accurate. No, you didn't count the 97 times. Like, you only counted the one time when you was right, which you're fucking targeting and attacking and doing all these things to kind of get that could have solicited it. Not that it makes it okay, but it could have drove it to become that, because some people have what we call confirmation bias. They have such a need to be right that they will literally manufacture scenarios to fit their outcome of them being right, and then disregard the fact that they created this. Like, I knew you was like it's like a motherfucker be like, I knew you had a temper problem after making you mad. Like, huh? I had a temper. I said I was fine.
You said that dark streak,
It's like, I knew you had it in you. Did you just disregard everything you said? You called me all types of pussies and bees and this and that to get me to say, shut the fuck up. And now I'm the one with the temper.
He crazy.
Yeah. So, it happens. But all in all, intuition, I think it's something you got to have faith to even trust. And people don't trust themselves enough to really trust their intuition. If they did, they would leave relationships sooner. Everything that they find themselves stuck to would be left if they really trusted their intuition. But because they don't even know if it's really what they feeling, they pour from their trauma and say, all right, I've seen this before. I can actually mentally go back to a time where I've experienced this. So I know that this is a possibility. So, all right, my intuition. Whole time, the intuition is a whole nother level of intuitiveness, of not even some shit that never, or it might be in another realm taking place. And it's letting you know, something is wrong. Like, this environment's throwing me off. Let me remove myself. Not, you been here before, know that shit happens here, and you like, my intuition. No, the evidence told you. It wasn't the situation.
And I'm going to just stay and go through it again and just complain about it after I do nothing about it.
Even with all the evidence in the world, I'm going to just complain and I'm going to talk more shit. Yeah. But yeah. Did it tie?
No, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. You cooked there. Also,
I was just trying to figure out if you understood what I was saying.
Yeah, you cooked there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. You cooked there. I know what you were talking about. She was cooking.